When people think of the fall of Rome, they imagine barbarian invasions, collapsing legions, or even emperors being poisoned. But attacks alone did not destroy Rome. Empires collapse not just from outside, but from within. One of the most destructive forces has always been corruption, or greed. Yet the biggest factor in this collapse was money. Imagine thinking you can just print more money, play with the economy, and nothing will happen. This mindset has always ended in disaster. For centuries, the backbone of Rome was its silver denarius coins. When first minted around 200 BCE, they were trusted across the empire. Soldiers were paid with them, merchants demanded them, and ordinary people safely stored their wealth in these coins. These coins were more than money. They were a promise of trust, a symbol of imperial power, and a measure of currency value. As long as people trusted Rome, they trusted its money. But running an empire comes at a heavy cost. Roads and aqueducts had to be built, legions paid, and by the 2nd century, Rome struggled to defend its borders. Taxes could not cover military expenses, so they took a risky step, reducing the silver content in the coins. At first, it didn't seem like a problem, but over time, the denarius lost nearly all its silver and became little more than a bronze disc. People noticed. Prices rose. Inflation began. Soldiers began demanding higher pay, local economies shifted to barter, and confidence in the currency collapsed. Governments continued printing cheap money, creating a vicious cycle of inflation. During the period known as the crisis of the 3rd century, Rome faced civil wars, plagues, and economic chaos. Emperors rose and fell so quickly that some lasted only a few months on the throne. Attempts to control prices and enforce payments failed. Even when Emperor Diocletian issued maximum price edicts, black markets flourished, and people abandoned the denarius entirely. When Constantine introduced the solidus, a stable gold coin, Rome regained some financial stability. But by then, the damage was already done. Trade routes and networks had collapsed, armies became unsustainable, and trust vanished. The lesson was clear. Economic collapse doesn't happen overnight. It's slow and destructive, only appearing sudden to outsiders. Even modern governments face similar risks today. Printing money, manipulating interest rates, or erasing debt through inflation may seem harmless, but history shows ordinary people always pay the price. In the 20th century, examples like Zimbabwe and Germany prove this. Hyperinflation wiped out savings, destroyed livelihoods, and people could no longer afford basic necessities. Even in advanced economies like the US, the purchasing power of money has declined over time. In 1971, $1 could buy far more than a dollar today. Coins and banknotes may look the same, but their real value has diminished. What should you learn as an individual? First, don't rely on money alone for wealth. Invest in skills, property, and productive assets that retain value. Second, never assume stability will last forever. Economic crises can arrive slowly or suddenly, and trust can evaporate quickly. Rome's fall reminds us that the real danger comes from within, not from outside invaders. Corruption, poor governance, and mismanagement of money can destroy empires as surely as armies or barbarians. Understanding this history helps protect your financial future and prepare for uncertainty. Remember, small decisions today can have huge consequences tomorrow. Modern societies face the same challenges. Governments can print money, adjust interest rates, or erase debt through inflation, but ordinary people bear the cost. Look at historical examples: Zimbabwe, Germany, and long-term trends in the US. Over the years, purchasing power declines. Coins and banknotes may stay the same, but their real value falls. So, what can you do? Invest in real assets, skills, and knowledge. Never assume the world will remain stable forever. Economic collapses often develop slowly from within, yet appear sudden from the outside. Rome teaches that internal decay, corruption, mismanagement, financial mistakes, is the greatest threat to any system. By understanding this, you can protect your wealth and prepare for financial shocks. History is not just a story, it's a guide for surviving in an unpredictable world.